I have a chance to touch Jordan Peterson. He's not going to be new to Rewind ever, for one reason. Too abstract. But I thought it's a very interesting concept. A very interesting bullshit concept of reaching too much abstraction. Just understanding a simple word can be a video. This is one of those moments where understanding one word will allow you to understand Jordan Peterson and leave him be, because holy shit, your brain will rot if you listen to him for too long. Yeah, you're not going to be smarter. You will feel that you should be smarter by listening to a smart person, but this is not how life works. You have to vibrate in your level. Yes, there is a level of abstraction that you can extract for yourself. So, let's just put it down. And too abstract probably means somewhere, just unreachable. Just to look at a star, and you're not gonna get anything out of a star. No one stares at stars, okay? Just some children who want to be inspired? No. They don't see anything there. It's just a new thing for them for a moment. Oh, look, Jordan Peterson. That's it. That's all the insights you actually got, very likely. And even then, for me, he's Peter. And then what's his last name again? And I keep forgetting. I was like, oh, it's just Peterson, bro. It's a weird man. Yeah, I keep forgetting his name. So there's levels of abstraction. There's just the physical worlds. All right? The physics of you picking an item and it drops and you smash a watermelon and it makes for millions and millions of views. People are stuck in this level, just watching things, explode in Mr. Beast videos. Oh my god, something is exploding right now. Wow. Something smashes, something hits the right spot exactly, dude, perfect moment. A lot of people are on this level of wavelength, and you can't help but acknowledge that. And acknowledge that Jordan Peterson has a long way to go on this list, which I have never actually unveiled in my brain. I have never had this list, and you probably never had this list, and you have not been smarter by listening to the dude who's just floating in space, all right, to a fucking astronaut in terms of enlightenment. You don't want to follow a person like that because you're not following the right steps to get there. He's just flexing, basically. He's just like the most muscular person in terms of brain matter, and he's just flexing on the world because you will never be able to understand what the fuck he's saying. Maybe some compilation is gonna help you. This is a 40-minute compilation, all right, for motivation. And I just remembered, how abstract this guy actually is, and how dangerous it is to be abstract, and how you need to weed out people like this from your life because they're not gonna give you enough value. So let's do that. Let's weed the Pete, all right? Like, Peterson cannot be the only person, and he's not. There's another person who's actually another Peter. Let's fucking go, bro. Oh my god, Peter Jordanson? I love that shit, bro. Yes, that's what happens in my brain. Just it does that. Whatever I just did is the second level of abstraction of just a box of content. BX, let's do that. You just know facts, all right? You just know facts, and sometimes it's farts. Sometimes these are farts. What can I click the wrong button? Either facts or farts. You never know what you have in your body. You never know what's going to happen. Life is random. You're going to do some weird shit. But a fact that you have done something at some point in your life, and you remember when your first kiss happened, you remember. It's now getting abstract because you have to use memory for this thing. All right? All of a sudden, we're no longer in the physical worlds. It's already scary because everyone has different set of facts. And we have to double check the facts in conversations. Now we're having conversation. Crazy, guys. All right, so let's do that. I also think events matter. Events, like, things don't have to always go boom, but it's like the craziest thing, right? And it's technically event here. It's a big event, a big explosion. People not always want to keep an explosion in their minds, you know, it's just like, wow, I saw something cool, right? So I think the event is here. Facts require memory. Facts require recollection. Facts require you to, you know, care about something in particular, you know? Or it's a fart because it's funny. It's funny because it doesn't belong in the real world and whatnot. We are still a long way in climbing this ladder because Peterson does not talk in facts. He does not say that his cat did a fucking backflip, all right? He is creating hypothetical situations. Peter Joseph, all right. When you listen to this guy, another Peter, guys, when you listen to this guy, your brain will rot again. I'm telling you, guys. Some people have extravagant language, and it becomes abstract because I don't know what this word means, what the fuck that word means. Can you fucking use normal human language, please? This guy does not want to do that. He's a Peter. Fucking Peters, bro. Holy shit. Peter. I love that.
Contrary, but I'm not a Jordan Peterson fan because he doesn't take a proper sociological perspective or a structuralist perspective on human behavior and the organization of human society.
Thank you. Thank you, Peter. Thank you for opening your mouth in the random video. That's the moment he opens his mouth. I don't want to be contrary. Oh my god, how did you do that? How did you do that, bro? How did you put shit in your brain? Oh my god. And like half of the words I don't understand was, what's social... What do you even say? Structuralist. What is that, man? Fucking hell. There's another Peter, and I'm not sure if I like him or not. I don't know. So let's double check. On the level of abstraction, where are you, Peter Schiff? You gonna say I? I think I know. I think I know. Facts. Let's do the monetary thing. All right? Plans. Let's do plans. So if you're planning to do something, now you have to have calculations. You have to have a list of things written down. You have to worry about that list. You can't even put it in your fucking brain anymore. This is a big level of abstraction where you have to actually do work to put things down. You are forced to organize it as well, because the way you organize it also matters. The order matters in a plan. This is very interesting. This is next level of abstraction, making things more difficult yet again. Everyone makes plans. Everyone promises things. Everyone wants to do something throughout the day. This is very still important to learn. Absolutely. But sometimes you're just like, whatever comes up is the highest priority in your brain. In that moment, you just take it. Some people just operate like NPCs because they don't have many plans, necessarily. They don't have goals in life. But that's a much higher level. You have a purpose. We're yet to reach that. All right, let's fucking go. What do you got, bro?
And so now just started the next bull market, the next leg up.
Yeah, you have to be a fanboy of just money circulating an economy. It also is also abstract. Why are all the Peters so abstract? They sometimes give you a wonderful insight. Like this guy knows. This guy knows that the minimum wage fucking kills economy. Because people just have to generally work. You know, be interested in work. and be able to offer work to other people and blah, blah, blah. Although, questionable, if our society can handle that without communism. And when I say all these things, you have to be a big fan of what I mean when I say communism, bro. When I say communism, I just say community. I just say communication. I just say a pack of people who learn communism, meaning that they're very productive. That's what it is. China wants to be productive, so they sometimes manifest communism because that's their power, but they sacrifice people because of that to conjure communism. I already know a lot of abstract things that I turn into precise definitions. Definition is the next thing. Definition. This is very powerful word because it itself now wants to be defined. What is a definition? How deep does it go? How many words do you have to fucking define? And I will put love on this thing. Because, like, what is love? Baby, don't hurt me. Yeah, you'll get hurt because now we're getting into very high levels of abstraction. Look at this thing. Holy shit. We're still not reaching Jordan Peterson, bro. What the fuck are you doing up there? Wait. I have it. The levels of energies. Are we actually using this one that I invented as a child in school? All right, as a teenager finishing school, I invented this physical, crystal, all these different energies. A writing energy, right? No, the brain. The brain. I don't think it aligns very well, but you check these things just in case. This is the writing. Technically, definitions required, but whatever. What is it? Fucking chakra, bro. Which would align pretty nicely with this. I have to double check so we can make better assumptions, more accurate things going on. I mean, this is misaligned, but it's annoying. And then I invented magnetics of attracting people, I guess. I don't know. And sounds. Different levels. I don't know how much of this aligns, actually. I would say this aligns, right? The plans aligned with writing and things down. Facts aligned with the brain and the crystal, technically. Or the events are somewhere in the middle, potentially. Yeah, I think this is what we're working with right now. So the next clue would be the magnetics. Like scientific observations or graphs that you have to remember. Graphs, because a graph is already abstract. It doesn't actually tell people anything in particular. Ability to read graphs. Photograph, bro. Photograph, guys. This is perfect. Let's go. Is this the next level? Because now it's easier to figure things out of which level it is based on just like very complicated concepts in the world. And graphs is more complicated than definition. And if you want to construct a graph, you have to actually observe things now. You have to spend time and a lot of effort putting things together into a very complicated structure that everyone uses. It's a graph. Everyone wants more of these graphs, but they can be tricky. And by their own definition, they're abstract. They're not going to talk about some basic shit, you know? They're going to talk about like deaths of people per 100,000. Like you have to put things together. You have to find space for this thing to be able to understand what this means. You have to define a graph. I think it works, bro. I think we got it. We got the next level. Is that Jordan Peterson flying around in space above the graph? Stop playing with rats. With rats, bro. He calls it the stratosphere. Stratosphere, bro. No, like literally. He calls it stratosphere. Sphere. Here you go. We're gonna get to him. I forgot the O. I think this is the level of abstraction Peter Schiff is on, the graphs. But he still works very hard on these things. Like he's definitely the master of graphs.
Which I think will be the 250.
Every single economist or broker or whatever that looks into a bunch of graphs going up and down, that's where they are. They are here. Making a different kind of money, I guess. I don't know. Investment? Yep. That's where you have to be in the level of abstraction over here. Scientist goes here. It's not rocket science, am I right? Well, that's where it is. Or maybe it's higher in the actual rocket science level of abstraction. Maybe that's what we're going to discover. So, what do we put here? Science? I guess. Because it's all about observation and collecting information and being able to read very complicated information presented to everyone. You still have to keep on pulling things down to learn it as facts. Or just see it in your minds of how it unfolds exactly. And I don't know if you can. No one told me on TikTok yet, but you should be able to make explosions with your minds. You know, they don't actually happen, but you just have the concept of explosion. Because it's a very simple thing, but also pretty interesting.
The gold. You're talking about 6-7 times.
Yes, Peter Schiff. Very, very. Everyone cares. What the fuck? People watch this stuff, bro? Please subscribe so they stop watching stupid shit. This could be the biggest Bitcoin of all time. Dude is already presenting me graphs, doesn't he?
By the beginning.
Already, you have to equip yourself with graphs because you're dealing with like such abstractions. You need a badass weapon for that shit. So what's the next level, boys? Where is Peter Jorgensen? I feel he's next door to this graph thing. Again, is it meaning of life level? Is that what it is? I mean, it has to be. The meaning of life. Finding all these meanings in life available to you. So let's see if I'm correct, because I feel like that's correct. Like that's very correct, but you have to get to that level. You have to tell people what the fuck you're talking about. Every single time you have to introduce, I feel like. I'm talking about self-improvement and finding meaning in life. So you can start doing things instead of watching this stupid video that will give you brain rot. Not me, though. Not me. People don't understand the definition of brain rot. Do you understand what it actually... Because skibidi toilets ain't brain rot if you can manufacture it into not being a brain rot. If you give it meaning. Now you can come up with a graph of how many things die and how things die and as you observe the skibidi toilets videos. But there's a level of abstraction that if you pull that upwards, if you pull upwards of the shit you see on the screen, maybe it can become meaningful, right? Sometimes just defining something can be meaningful. Sometimes it's meaningful when you observe it for a long time. So, what are we doing now? that's also very meaningful to people, but incredibly abstract. And as you can tell, again, abstract means overly complicated. You cannot just express it in words. It's not that simple. Because this is a word. This is a word. But you cannot express it through the word itself. You have to unpack it. The same way you have to unpack this package. So we have to figure out what the fucking package we're unpacking right now. What the size of it and what do we have to use to unpack the Jordan Peterson insights. All right? Insights. It seems like insights. I'm not sure. I'm hoping it's insights. Insights could be pretty high level of abstraction, because what insight is, it applies to every human being. All right? It's applicable to everyone now. The graph can be very specific. The definition can be extremely specific. But when it comes to like meanings, they apply to more and more people. This is why you would want to go up, because it applies to more people. All right? I'll just repeat it all over again. Abstraction level defines how many people can use the thing. That's it. That's the whole idea. If the thing is abstract enough, a lot more people can use it. And Jordan Peterson can sound smart to more people, basically. But if you truly want to give people something, you have to start here. And you have to be there. Be present in this moment. You cannot just be Jordan Peterson just sits down and is like, I am so insightful, I'm going to talk to people. You have to be physically active in a way. So very likely that his abstraction is not so interesting. Abstract. Wow. That's kind of cool. Rad gets... Nah, never mind. I love playing too much. So let's see. Let's listen to Jordan Peterson now. We are allowed. We have leveled up so quickly. Filled in all the gaps. Whew, exciting. Also so funny how Peter Joseph was in this like definition area of just throwing hardcore definitions. Then you have Peter Schiff. And now Peter Jorderson. All right, Peter Jorderson. Holy crap. I'm watching this video. 2 million people watched it. Not a lot, actually.
With a gold bottle, you never have to do anything. Afraid of the truth, because often if you reveal it, it causes conflict in the moment.
It seems very simple, but every single person has to like relive an experience like that. And they have to have put themselves in the position where they care about giving truth to other people. And what happens? People become afraid. In terms of his opinion, that's what he thinks happens. See, sometimes observations become even more abstract. You speculate. Or you put together graphs into an insight. I like the word insight. And I like the word meaning in this term. And it would be crazy if we could go even one step higher, right? Without sounding abstract, because we're grounded. We are rooted in all these levels. We know how we got here. When you look at Jordan Peterson, you don't know where he came from. He's just a professor that went mainstream because he had to. Because a lot of people are just stupid and finding meaningless things to attach themselves to hurt themselves. So someone has to fill in the void, and someone has to give insights. But I don't think people are afraid of the truth. I think he's wrong. This is the most like controversial position to be in, because it's now so abstract that every person has to contribute. Every person, whoever is capable of being here, has to contribute to the conversation. There is no escaping conversation at this point of like, everyone's uncertain, basically. Everyone is always uncertain and questioning things. With this, you have to be just scientifically minded of just like, I will observe more and more, and I will find the answer. Whether I will have to wait 5 hours for the answer, some people don't care. Some people just dive in. This is where ant venom is. If you know ant venom, you probably don't, but this is Minecraft, right? You can turn Minecraft into science and just scope around of what happens in certain situations, all right? And ant venom kind of ran out of material, or he's just working on something stupid, unfortunately. This is my favorite bad guy of YouTube, and he barely uploads anymore. And it's very scientifically minded, as long as it's within the Minecraft. This is where all the podcasts are. A lot of podcasts delve towards abstraction. Or are they? Well, they try to, because it's the best thing. Give controversial ideas. But it's not necessarily that. It's just the best podcast going to controversial ideas. The Joe Rogan thing. Alright? Tries to unpack some, like, 5 controversial ideas. 5. We can't even do that many all at once. A lot of people think they can just do a factual podcast. That's kind of fucked up. It's never a good idea to do that. It's definitely a shitpost. It's definitely a fart. I would say defining things is pretty cool. This is what we're doing right now. We're defining the word abstract. But we're diving deeper and deeper, right? Like we put together a graph. Alright? And the controversial idea is Jordan Peterson doing a good job right now? Or is he just lost in space, in the Peter space? Fucking Peter Pan. I feel like it's related somehow.
Truth, because often if you reveal it, it causes conflict in the moment.
See? See how he thinks? He's already defined himself as in this position where he's dealing with controversial ideas. There's all kinds of truths that people do not reject naturally, but this one will. Everyone will reject your truth because we have to make sure that it's as truthful as possible when we say it. So you can say the idea of are people afraid of the truth in many ways, but he's just like spitting it out, you know, and it requires context in a way. Some people would just like, yeah, you are afraid of the truth because I heard the meme. But it's the most controversial shit you can actually deal with right now. Alright, so let's keep on finding these things that are super controversial. You're not going to learn anything. You're just going to gain brain rot if you just accept it. That's the whole point. You're not supposed to accept anything he's saying. That's why he's allowed to even speak in the first place. Because he can just say whatever he wants, pretty much. You know, as long as it sounds truthful, as long as he have observed something similar. But it's so abstract, and if you don't question it, he's just going to get away with it. He's just going to keep on cranking reputation into his pockets. Don't do that. Don't let him fucking get away with this shit. This is controversy. You have just as a good chance to give a good take on whatever he's talking about as he himself. Now, you have to have insights. You have to have the moments when you realize things are a little bit more tricky, or you find a pattern in life of some kind that everyone follows. Or just find a very meaningful word. That can also level up. You know, you find a word that's meaningful, you double check of like, oh, this happens here and here in this video and that. All right. And then you unpack it even more. Keep leveling up, bro. Until it's like a very meaningful word can create a lot of controversial insights. All right. In my definition, I don't even know the definition of controversy. I just know people start yapping when controversy happens. Drama happens. Anyone who can handle drama the best has to be on this level. All right. Who can handle controversial ideas because they can see more than a regular person can. I saw twists in the Sniper World drama, and I knew that Sniper World cannot just fall off her throne. It cannot be that easy. And the argument against her were kind of fucking stupid. And React content is actually pretty good type of content and should not be shamed, but people don't get to that level to deal with the controversy until they calm down. Potentially things gonna get even more heated up here. Like, it gets pretty fucking hot if we can level up even more just for a moment, just to grab titsy bitsy of what that could be. What can we make with controversies? What is the even more abstract thing that we can make? What is it? God? Is that it? Is that God? The idea of higher power, the idea of just shit going wrong, the biggest fears you ever had just compiled into one thing. I think it's possible. I think fear could be it. You know, I think when we're dealing with concepts like Christmas, Halloween, like these are insanely abstract concepts because they go deeper and deeper. You can fucking dig infinitely. We're talking about just the good and evil fighting itself, something like that. This is where, you know, the controversy just leaks out when you start talking about men versus women. Controversies just keep leaking as if you hit the right spot, right? Talking about the God design. Design of the God, my friends, you would think it's not abstract, first of all, but people are so fucking mind blown by this. They want to fucking tempt God's power every single time and get away with it. They charge against God. They fight against God. What God is just the way of life, the way it fucking is for the longest of time. For the longest of time, we just had men and women, two genders, and people are desperate to shred this for some reason. If they're not doing a good job and they're not finding enough meaning, it's not going to stick. To fight God is to change reality itself. It's the most abstract shit you can do in life is fight God. This is the next fucking step. All right, you can craft controversy, find the biggest and the best controversy a thing that you want to change about reality itself, and now fight God. See how it works. All right, this is the final level, boys. Final boss is everyone else who have opinions, who have a stance on something and whatnot. All I can say is I'm YouTube CEO. Thank you very much. Do I win? Did I convince you guys? I hope I did. That's all I want to fight for, bro. The YouTubes. All right. Because I found it meaningful. I found that I'm always able to go in that direction, and it's all good for me. It's good enough for me, or God enough. That's what a resonance is. A resonance is something that repeats over and over and over again until you win. That's what it is. You gotta keep on fucking doing it over and over again. You have to see Mr. Beast 3 million times, and then you win, eventually. Then someone recognizes you. I hope saying Mr. Beast was meaningful to you, though. because you might just get one chance to do that big thing. That's what it is. Resonate towards something. And that could change your life, and that could change everyone else's life. But it's the most abstract thing because only one person can understand their own abstract, true meaning of life. The only meaning of life is to change the way life works. Especially in order to benefit yourself. So often enough, the biggest meaning of life is just to find a title for yourself. Find a definition for yourself that people would admire. Find an activity to do that you will not be bored. Fucking max stats. I don't know. But we did it, boys. We completed the Peter cycle. I just need to fill in the blanks. Who are the Peters? I mean, this one is definitely the Peter. Is the family guy. No, maybe this one, because he's fat. Maybe that's the one. It must be the one. So, who's the first level Peter? Guys, I need to know. So yeah, the change of the world is the highest level of abstraction. Because you need to know what actually changes. You need to know everything about that change. This is a domino effect beyond the wildest dreams. Is the fucking flap of the butterfly. The change. Holy crappies. You would be unpacking this thing for the rest of your life, man. And that's the meaning of life. It's just like you make a change, and as it unpacks, it gives you up and down, resources or just reputation based on how your stocks are going in that particular moment. It's crazy. Everyone pretty much has a chance to change the world. I'm just realizing that it's kind of insane. If you change the world and you have reached the level of abstraction where everyone has to care about the change that you have made. You have invented fucking paperclip, and all of a sudden that invention is across the entire world. You invented a chair, you invented a thing, a change in the world. And it can be anything, unfortunately. It can be so many things that it makes the most abstract thing, and you cannot go higher than this. It can be anything, and it belongs to someone. It has a purpose. All these things combined. The God level, boys. The God level is something that just like spreads across the universe. We get Coca-Cola everywhere. Fuck that shit. We need to change. So someone will have a life purpose to make Coca-Cola not exist anymore. Good for you, man. Way better than mine.
The truth is definitely an adventure, one that truth produces.
A lot of people lean towards the word truth instead of God. Alright? Which you just need to know. You just need to know that the truth is up here. All the changes that people have made, that's the truth. And technically, maybe if you like pick the truth apart, you'll see for what it is. Of like what impact anything has. Who's the billionaire in this world? Is money the best way to define a person with the most biggest, best changes in the world that they have made? It's weird, like all of a sudden, like seeking other people's influence and what impact they are doing onto the world, putting that together is like very complicated stuff, and that's where I want to be. That's the brain work that I'm doing. Not only I am inspecting my own change in the world, but that is my change. To inspect others. To just circle around and look at other people's changes. I am higher than Jordan Peterson, unfortunately, bro. That's the truth. It might make you uncomfortable. You might fear it.
Phone went from a brick with very limited battery that could only be bought by the rich to the handheld, sometimes reasonably priced pocket device with tons of useful features that it has.
People keep on sacrificing themselves for the sake of improving the phone device. How interesting. And they want to make that change because it's the easiest change to make. Everyone has a phone, right? Oh, it's not the easiest change. You have to be the best at it. Still, you have to be God. So let's just watch the rest of this thing and see what I can find. We're already 40 minutes in. It's good.
Family. And maybe here's one of the things that's cool about that is that your life doesn't have meaning without aspiration or an aim. Okay, so you need a hierarchy of values. There's got to be something at the top. It's got to be something important. If you don't have that, your life doesn't have any meaning. So if you criticize the hierarchy or even the idea of hierarchy, it's not helpful. People are built for a struggle and they're built for a weight, and you want to take on a heavy burden voluntarily. See if you can put yourself together.
See, that's pretty interesting. While he sits here and he was reaching for that level, I want to see it over here. And I want to keep changing the world over and over again. I want to see changes happen. Maybe it's a good thing, maybe it's not. But you almost certain, I think, that this is the change that I want in my life. It's also one of the safest things you can do in life. I took the safest thing, the safest bet. I'll just invest into people who are successful, who are making successful changes. It's going to get more and more complicated because you just don't know until you do all the work, all of that work. You keep leveling up until you see the change that they're making. Change is the most abstract thing because it just simply doesn't exist anywhere. Very similar things exist, but the change, by definition, does not want to exist. You have to make the change. No one else is going to make it for you. That's the crazy part. So what have we learned about the change? The change changes most people's lives. It's a ripple across the universe of what you want to do. And it can be anything pretty much, and you better do a more peaceful and more beautiful things so you get to live to see the change and it doesn't just drag you into death and jail. That's there's levels of change as well that you can make. And we're not here to unpack the whole thing. All right? But it's just a very beautiful system.
It's an all.
And was not as abstract as Jordan Peterson because we put him on a graph. We explain him away while defining a word.
Someone else's fate. Man, your fate's enough. And your adventure's enough. It's
We learned that. We learned that very quickly.
It's more than you can ever fully realize. And so that's also part of the reason that we all believe that the individual has some intrinsic dignity. It's the tighter you bind yourself to it, the more.
I think that's the interesting thing, right? People can make changes, and there's specific time when you make the choice of what the change is supposed to be. It's accumulative until it clicks, right? Until everything starts changing because someone believes in you, someone else starts believing in you, and just it keeps accumulating. Just belief in your abstract idea that this change is going to be a good change in the world. Just someone believing in you. That starts the avalanche.
Yes.
Some people, do their thing and then just get involved into war and destruction, and it's just they lose their fucking minds. We definitely don't want to be those people.
And that's aim yourself in one direction, and you might.
This is also can be quantified in terms of senses. This thing you just have to see. We see things all the time. We just open our eyes, and this is when we are living and breathing and doing things. We just have to open our eyes. That's it. To the facts, we just have to listen. All right? That's it. listen. Is that enough? Well, let's just put the hand in there. All right? You have to grab the fact. How about that? Because it's technically based on your research, based on your choices, based on where do you raise your hand. Now it matters quite a bit. This thing, you can see the wholesomeness of the video. The videos are a specific rectangular size. Everything is a specific size, so you can see the whole thing. With facts, we already have an exponential growth of things. An exponential distance, where you can't just look at something. You have to get closer and grab it. Write it down. Read it. Whatever it takes, right? I'll just connect to the 7 senses or whatever. I think taste would go to the plants. It sounds like plants. It sounds like something you would do a lot. Plan your meals. So, I'll just put it out. It's very straightforward, to be honest. Go on a date. That's what it is. You go out to eat somewhere. And you have to really think about like what the environment you want to feed from. The environment also matters. Where you're just going to spend your time. Spending time, yeah. It's another big deal. I'm going to put it there. TikTok, bro. Shit. Fucking lick lock. I don't know what that means, bro. His definition, just hearing the word. Hearing the word a bunch of times from different positions, right? From different perspectives, yeah. It's just hearing. Very good, let's keep going. A smell, though. Where would we put the smell? Maybe controversy? Because it's still, well, it's a weird one. Most people won't find these controversial. These are 5 senses, right? There's a talk about 6 sense, and I will say 6 sense is just a realization of things. And 7th sense, the highest, is to know what happens when you make certain decisions. The sense of the future. All right? You should attempt to learn, decipher the future for yourself. Of what happens when I do this, what happens when I do that. And it accumulates into more and more complicated things that you can do. Now, I wonder how abstract do I sound to other people, but I put this thing as so fucking straightforward, I don't know how you can fail. But I don't know. No one told me anything. No one spends time in the fucking comments. I hate that shit. So that one thing I cannot predict is like, when are people gonna start talking to me, bro? I just don't know. People have lost that fucking thing. Is that one change, potentially, that I have to change? Is like, ability to just have conversations, initiate conversation easier. That change might be even bigger, you know, and simpler, because, well, people have to be heard. You kind of want, like, you don't want the pings go one direction. You have to get a pong. You have to get a response of some kind. To make the best change, you have to find the biggest demand. Everyone kind of knows that. To make the most money, you have to fulfill the biggest demand. But to make the biggest change, you don't always just want to earn money. There are other resources to earn. Anyways, can we finish this?
And you might say, well, I've gone halfway down this path and I found out it's wrong.
What a loser, he's wrong.
Well, how do you just, yeah, but you have to play one of them. You have to learn to play one of them. You have to become an expert at least one of them. And then
Yeah, it's hardcore words.
that's not a relative.
Just tell people.
I believe that's true. So you want to commit to something. And then when you commit to something, you require yourself to bring
What the fuck?
all of moving.
What is a disparate component, bro?
Said that.
He says unifying acts, okay. You have to put yourself together to make that choice. Because it's, what is the first thing you're going to change? Because the first thing you have to change is yourself. Where you position yourself in life so you get a better life than what you have been given. Because you might have been given a fucking NPC life. No one needs that, unfortunately. But what will happen in most situations if you make a big change, like in my life, my parents will die, you know? And I don't know if I can quickly switch myself with someone else so my parents don't just die. If you make yourself too good for a certain situation, in a way that kind of makes you a danger to yourself. You know, if you solve too many problems, you're just like, you're walking house of cards. Everything will collapse the moment you will leave the house of cards. The moment you make a change, the fucking boulder will start rolling behind you because of the people that you are hurting, basically. Potentially. It's not 100%. Because people have to take care of each other. And it's not supposed to be your responsibility to do everything. But it's just a vision that I have, a very interesting one. Very scary. Because the first thing you have to do is change yourself. And see what happens. See how crazy a change actually is. Because anything is possible in the world. Change who you are, change where you live. Everything about yourself. Just like that, you know, you just accept a fucking, I would say a job would have been the base definition back in the day. Right now you have to accept an opportunity to be somewhere else. Well, you've got to be taken care of. You're going to get basic needs met. And all you have to do is just be there and grow in that position. That's it. You're going to be made out of air, just like all the plants. You just got to be in a certain position. And it's a very interesting thing. I've never really faced changes as much when I had to travel to UK. Then I changed, then I faced it a little bit too harsh. I got a fucking trailer demo version of what a change is. What it means to dedicate yourself to another country entirely with a different culture. And what it's like to be even more alone than usual. So, we're all facing a lot of changes in life, and we should strive to make more changes that don't destroy anything. That improve you instead of completely disassemble who we are. But sometimes you might have to make a leap of faith. I'm not sure. Anything can happen. You know, a fucking alien spotlight can come down from the sky and pick you up, basically. It has been a projection for a long time. Like, getting virality sometimes can be the greatest opportunity to make changes really fast.
But some things grip you. They bug you. And they
Yeah, the word abstraction, because I was defining Jordan Peterson as an abstract man. Now, this is a compilation of where Jordan Peterson says a specific thing. And I don't know how people can fucking stand listening to Jordan. But, like, this is probably the most coherent he will ever be in these videos, outside of his scope of things, because he starts rambling and in conflict with himself, I would imagine.
to delve into it further. Well, so that's humility. It's like, here's a mystery, which means I don't know. I would like to delve into it further, which means I don't know enough already.
It seems simple, but you should feel the abstraction of like, well, you can be solving any sort of mystery. What the fuck is this? Why don't you just put it in a context? This would make you very uncomfortable. Like, you would understand this in a context a lot easier than just like, oh, here's a question, and it's a mystery. And I'm asking the question, and I'm trying to like, it's humility, actually. It's such a weird fucking thing to say. So weird.
And then...
Because he's trying to keep himself in that level, and eventually it sounds really stupid, really annoying. Like, it's not the fact that you get to this level, it's the fact that you want to stay there that makes you abstract and makes you dangerous to people. Like, you're not supposed to spend too much time listening to Jordan Peterson, whichever one you like more. You're just not supposed to, like, we got the conflict, we have solved the conflict, we have defined him as a dangerous man that he likes so much. Dangerous man, he wants to be that for some reason. I guess I am also a dangerous man the moment I have buttons under my control. I'm so dangerous people don't want to fucking argue on me or say anything in the comments, apparently. Because all I give is just raw energy and insights, right?
Well, what's a revelation?
Whether you like it or not, I mean. Also, I don't have a face. And usually when you put face down, that's it, bro. That's when people start yapping.
So imagine that your intent is to make things better. Then maybe they come from the place that's designed to make things better. Maybe your intent is to make things worse.
That is interesting and useful. Again, what do you intend to do? But you also have to approach it in a very smart, strategic way. So as I've said, like, the first change is to yourself. Define yourself of what you're going to be doing roughly in life. Because that definition takes a long time to just swallow and accept just for yourself. And then other people will have to start accepting it because they will want to know who you are. I have been given this question. It's very interesting to me. In a form of who you think you are. Even though it sounds kind of rude, it is relevant as a question. I guess you would want to leave parents that are dead to you because they're even worse than NPCs. They are useless. Oh my god.
This is like, well, there isn't anything better to have than a problem that's worth solving. Like, that's really worth solving. Right? And so the more of that you take on, the more you have a reason to get out of bed in the morning, no matter what.
It's kind of more beautiful because we did all this work. When you find out that the biggest thing is the biggest change is to yourself because of the first one. That really kicks things off. And he's like circling around, maybe looking for the biggest change, this Peterson boy.
Forward.
Because he knows a lot about it, you know. It's kind of like the guide of your next big change.
Doesn't matter what that you could have done that was right. It's like, does that change the world? It's like, and I think that
he's literally talking about change of the world. I mean, it's so fascinating to me now. If you just put Jordan Peterson in the background and you did not do enough work to reach his elevation of abstraction, even this, which is like basic meaning of life thing, but it's just not gonna matter to you. It's just gonna be a void. White noise if you don't pick it up. You have to do more and more work if you want to understand these things. Here, again, you just have to see it. It's not a big deal to see the boom in a specific location. That would be a fact. To know where the continents are, where the countries are, all these are facts. It gets more and more difficult. And this dude is fucking stretching himself thin on almost the highest level.
A useful thing to know too. One of the things I tell people when they're trying to develop a vision for their life.
I think we got it, right? So we got the pinpoints where he's a teacher to a lot of students. We're very close to making changes in the world. That was his position in life for a very long time. This is why he's stuck here. Because he wants to see you make the final step ahead of the professor who knows many things, who have seen many people pass potentially and grow up to change the world in different ways. This is very interesting to me. That's how you have to look at him. I think that's a good ending. I think it's a fucking clicky. We don't need to go any further. See you guys next time. Change the world!